What's up, my YouTube family? I hope you all can see me clearly. Hold on, let me wipe this real quick. Get rid of the glare and stuff. So, tonight, I have an important topic that I want to discuss. I won't be on here too long. I want to talk about why do trauma resurface after so many years, right? And we're going to talk about the black sheep. Recently, in the state of Florida, it was a hurricane. Thankfully, the Most High made sure my area wasn't really touched. But to those whose areas was touched, I hope y'all have a speedy recovery, because hurricanes are no joke. You know, it literally takes people's lives. It takes people's livelihood. And I was looking at the evacuation route when people was trying to leave, especially the highways by Tampa. I'm like, they might as well not even go anywhere. The traffic was so bad. Like, you might as well not even run, you know? That goes to show you, as an example, that in the midst of chaos, when people are trying to escape disaster, the highway is not the best way to go. Then you got people like John Travolta. He can hop in his private jet and be gone because his private jet is right at his house. Can y'all believe that? It's amazing what money gives you access to, you know? But it's crazy how when this hurricane event was happening, they literally raised the price for hotels. They raised the price for airplane tickets. Like, you cannot tell me that this ain't a parasitical system. It's like they don't care. Give us everything you got and then maybe you'll be safe. Like, that's crazy to me. E-Baby, good to see you. Hold on, y'all. All right. The first topic is, why does trauma resurface after so many years? And the reason being is because it's going to come to a point where the trauma that you've been through is not going to paralyze you or phase you anymore. See, one way or another, when you come here, unless you're born into some seriously rich, powerful wealth, you're going to face trauma in this life. You just are. And as chosen ones, you will face heavy trauma. Right? You're going to be dealing with generational curses. You're going to be dealing with haters. You're going to be dealing with manipulators, narcissists, sociopaths. So many walks of life of evil that you're going to face as a chosen one. Now, the reason why I say chosen one is because some people receive trauma harder than others, but are held to a higher standard in the spiritual realm. Why? Because they have a very important spiritual task. And I'm gonna throw this out there. There is a spiritual war on the horizon. There's a physical war and a spiritual war on the horizon. All right? That a lot of people may not be ready for, but we have no choice, right? But not to get off subject, the reason why a lot of us deal with trauma every now and again and it resurfaces in our conscious mind is because a lot of times you are being prepped. Because the thing about this, even after everything you've been through, the enemy, the evil forces, will try to continue to keep you in a loop by recreating traumatic scenarios that'll keep you stuck internally. You know what trauma does to people? Trauma can paralyze people, cripple people, ruin people's potential, man. That's why people are homeless. That's why people are strung out in drugs and things like that. Trauma. Let's start with that. Okay? And so you had to, as a chosen one, you had to literally go up against, had to deal with so much trauma, so much craziness in your life, and you had to process these type of things, and you had to overcome them, and you didn't allow your trauma to cripple you. You allowed it to grow you, because trauma is used as a way to make people stronger if they don't allow it to cripple them. And I'm gonna tell you, most people are trauma ridden to the point, and this is not to belittle their trauma, because trauma is a serious thing and overcoming it is not easy, but most people use their trauma as an excuse to be nasty to other people, to be hateful, to be disrespectful, right? We can even take it even further, to be narcissists. You know, it's that idea of, I got sexually assaulted, so I'm doing it to you, and now they're gonna say it's a family tradition. Family members trying to mess with you in that kind of way. You know, trauma is the reason why people's potential gets limited, because they're paralyzed by the memories of these things. But even now, a lot of us, especially chosen ones, have had traumas resurface in our mind. Why? Even to this very moment. Some of y'all today probably had flashbacks of things that was done to you. See, the thing is, the way the universe heals, one of the ways the universe heals, one of the ways is resting, another way is when you sit down and reflect on the things that you actually been through and the things you've actually done. When you sit back and reflect on these things, you become stronger than the situation that tried to cripple you, because internally you overcome the trauma. See, you're gonna look back, because some of y'all are struggling with certain traumas. You're gonna look back at your lives and you'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I went through this, but it's not gonna faze me, because the truth be told, the universe is preparing you, because when the time comes, the enemy is gonna try to recreate your traumas through other people, through other places. Oh, this enemy is cunning. This enemy will try to recreate scenarios of things that crippled you when you was a child, or crippled you even into adulthood. You just now got finished healing from certain things. Now all of a sudden a situation comes up where you're like, wait a minute, this reminds me of when such and such happened. How are you going to react then? Because I'm telling you, this is how the system works. This is how the evil enemy works. Why? Because the enemy wants to keep you crippled by your trauma, especially if you're the chosen one. The enemy tries to keep you crippled by trauma, tries to keep you crippled by your sexuality, tries to keep you crippled by your fears, not believing in yourself. You know, this is what limits a lot of people on a daily basis. And a lot of people don't talk about this is because they're wearing a mask, acting like everything's okay, when really they have to overcome the trauma that they had to endure when they was younger, because that's the only way you're going to move past it, to the point where even if the enemy tries to recreate that in your current timeline, it won't faze you. You won't be moved. You won't be paralyzed. You will stand fiercely against the evils of the enemy. You know the enemy's trick already. You've seen plenty of times what the enemy has tried to do to you. Okay? So that's why sometimes you think about certain things from your past, certain traumas you had to endure. That is because you are being prepped for the warfare. Because the warfare is, even after everything that you've been through in your life from childhood all the way up to now, the enemy will try to recreate scenarios that are similar to your trauma. Are you going to be crippled, or are you going to be unfazed? The more you overcome the internal, for example, me personally, the one thing that I had to overcome a lot internally was my failures in life. So whenever I used to fail, it used to cripple me. It used to put me in depression. I used to smoke a lot. You're talking to a guy who had faced a lot of setbacks in his life. Some of it was divine intervention. A lot of it was self-imposed on myself. And so that used to cripple me. I used to have a lot of doubts. Like, dang, even recently I had to deal with that. But I had to overcome it because what I do is of importance. But I know how it feels when you failed so many times in your life and you don't see a way out. You're not sure if you're in the right direction. You see angel numbers and things like that, but you're just not sure if, you're having strange dreams, that can put a person in a crippled state where, you're not sure if you should even keep trying anymore. Oh, I've been there many times, but I decided that I'm not going to allow my past failures to cripple me. I was constantly reminded of my failures over and over. So that way, if it does happen, it's not going to really faze me like that. Most people, when they fail in life, when they don't succeed at certain things, it cripples them. They resort back to a lot of bad habits, a lot of different things because the trauma of failure is too much for their ego. But sometimes it's important for you to go through these things. So even if you fail, it won't really faze you. You'll have the resilience and the determination to get right back up and go after what it is that you want. Some of your family members will try to recreate traumatic scenarios. See, when you was younger, they picked at your self-esteem. They nitpicked at your gifts. That's why tonight I'm gonna talk about the black sheep as well. They nitpicked at your self-esteem. They nitpicked at your gifts. Why? They was trying to cripple you with trauma, with doubts, with fear at such a young age. So that way when you in adulthood, you will never surpass them. You will never overcome them. Oh yes, people are evil, man. Family can be evil too, especially if they are the world and they're being used by Satan. They're being used by the enemy. But how will you know this at such a young age? You had to overcome a lot of things by yourself, and sometimes the trauma will come back up in your conscious mind because it's prepping you so that way you won't be fazed by it. When people try to talk about you, when people try to make you doubt yourself, that won't faze you. Why? Because you overcame the trauma that was meant to cripple you. You didn't allow it to cripple you. You did the work. You took the time to heal. You processed a lot of things. Most people, they run from themselves. They run from their past. You have to process your past. Okay? You have to process your past. Because if not, it's going to affect your future. It's going to affect your future, y'all. This is how important it is because the enemy will constantly use your past to mess up your future. That's one of the tricks of the enemies. On top of bad habits, on top of negative self-beliefs, they will use these things against you. The forces of evil will, yes. And this will lead into being a black sheep. See, people use the term black sheep referring to there's a flock of sheep in the field and one of the sheep has a black coat. So the white sheep's isolate themselves from the black sheep. And so the black sheep's just sitting on the hill by themselves, by itself, eating grass and stuff. And the white sheeps are picking at the black sheep for being different. And let's tie this into the current reality of being the chosen one, who's 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10 is going to be the black sheep, is that because you are not operating in a traumatic fashion or in a traumatic cycle that your family members are operating in, therefore, you become the black sheep. You become the scapegoat. Oh, that's the different one. That's the one right there. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. They're gonna make you out to be the problem because they're so accustomed to a nasty, vicious, traumatic cycle of doing nasty, evil things to each other. And you're the one that was born into this world and was like, I can't believe these people are doing this. Like, do y'all know that y'all doing some evil stuff? Like, how could y'all consider to be my family and y'all doing evil stuff towards me, and I'm not the one, I'm not causing any problems, but the one that does cause problems, y'all support them, y'all get them whatever they want, you don't complain about what they do, you'll shrug it off. But if I accidentally didn't flush the toilet, oh, you're gonna scold the hell out of me. If I leave too much water on the counter on accident, you're gonna scold the hell out of me. But the other siblings, they do that stuff all the time. How come they won't get scolded? Matter of fact, they will clean up after people like that. But when it comes down to the black sheep, oh, you're getting scolded. You're getting scrutinized. You know, you buy something, you put it in the fridge. All of a sudden, somebody want to move it and complain, oh, yeah, it's taking up too much room. How's it taking up too much room? There's only 2 items. I thought I lived here. I thought I could use the fridge too. Nah, I need to move this crap over here. It's taking up too much room. But, or when you were in your lowest point and you was drinking a lot and you was smoking a lot, guess who's the one complaining about your drinking and smoking? Your so-called narcissistic family, narcissistic friends, worldly people that don't like the black sheep because the black sheep is different. So when you start drinking and smoking, they're going to say, oh, you drink too much, you smoke too much. But if they go grab a beer, if they go grab a bottle of wine, you're not supposed to say anything to them. They'll come against you harder. Like, how dare you open your mouth and tell me what to do? But it's okay for you to tell me what to do? First, they stress you out. Then when they see you in a low place and you have bad habits, then they want to nitpick at that stuff too. That's what it's like to be the black sheep. They will always complain about anything that you do. You stay in your room too much. What's the problem with that? You know? And then they don't even think, oh, well, I think this person's staying in the room because I think we just some bad people. No, they don't think like that. They're going to blame the black sheep. Why you stay in your room all day? Why you don't interact with anybody? Because I don't want to. That's why. I know who y'all is. That's why. But they're going to turn around and say, I don't know what his problem is. I don't know what her problem is. You know, they not down with the family. They not down with the gang. You know, they don't hang out with us no more. I remember we used to have this person high and drunk and stumbling, doing stupid stuff, and we used to record. And I'm gonna tell you something, as a black sheep, one of the things you're gonna go through is that when you're drunk and you out of your mind, some people will record you in that state of mind to shame you, because that's what makes them feel good. But try to shame them. Watch how many people side with them. The only person you ever had, the only one you ever had most of your life as a black sheep was the Most High. Occasionally, the Most High will send angels every now and again in the form of people to help you out. But a lot of times, those people are strangers. You don't see them again. But most times, you was by yourself being attacked, scrutinized. Even to this day. Even to this day, they're going to sit back and complain about every single thing you do and make you the problem because you're the black sheep, you're the different one. You're not operating the way they expect you to. Okay? You're not operating the way they expect you to. You stay to yourself. You're an introvert. You know? You fine with your own company. Them people codependent as hell. They can't function without somebody in their presence, keeping up a bunch of stuff, keeping up a bunch of drama. You don't need that in your life as a black sheep. You don't need that in your life. You never needed that stuff in your life. It's not healthy. But people like that get upset at you when you're not like that. Most people in the world get upset at people who are not like that, who are not drama filled, who don't sit back and just talk junk just to talk junk. Okay. And then as a black sheep, when you go out into the world, people gonna think you weak because you're not behaving like a savage or a wild baboon like them, or a wild animal like them. You have a level of discipline. You have good manners, good behaviors. And half of the time, the black sheep is the one that's going to stand up for the person who's getting picked on. The black sheep is the one that usually stands up to the bully. Take a beating from the bully to protect those who are innocent. Those are the stripes you wear. Okay? Those are the stripes you wear. You know, the Bible says, I don't want to mess it up. I don't have my notes here, but do not be weary in well doing. Do not be weary in well doing. Because in due time you shall receive a bountiful harvest. Okay? You shall receive a bountiful harvest. But I'm telling you, in this world, it's like you have to fight. You have to fight. You have to know when to fight, but you have to fight for your peace. You have to fight for your sanity. You have to fight trauma. And trauma is whooping a lot of people's ass. What am I saying today? As the black sheep, you had to endure so many different things in your life, so many haters. You had to endure Jezebels. I've ran into a few Jezebels. You had to endure warlocks. I've ran into warlocks, even in the church. And you did not, yeah, you shed some tears. Yes, it hurt, but you did not allow it to cripple you. You understand? You did not allow your trauma to cripple you. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And so when you have these scenarios replaying in your head, especially if you're a black sheep, understand that the universe is making you stronger. You see, people who haven't really seen what the real world looks like, who's been sheltered all their life, when they finally see some stuff, they're going to crumble. But you as a chosen one, you had to be the one to see a lot of gruesome stuff. You know, you had to be the one to see it. You know, okay, imagine this from the Most High's eyes, who sees all. Who sees all the debauchery, the killings. Okay, who has the most trauma? But how does the Most High handle that trauma? How does the Most High sees it? Huh? So, if the Most High sees it, surely those who are not sheltered, those who are chosen ones, are going to see it, are going to see all kinds of behaviors. But you know what? Life is a wild ride, but at least there's a story to tell when you make it out of so many different things. A powerful testimony that you can share as being a black sheep to save many others out there who have been the black sheep all their life, who can't hang around people who they considered family or people who they considered friends, because a lot of them are of the world and they get jealous and hateful and mad. I mean, you know how it feels to go to certain places and just by you showing up, people start hating on you. You haven't said anything, you haven't messed with anybody. Do you know how that feels? I'm telling you, man. But that's the life of a chosen one. That's the life of a black sheep. To go to places and be hated without a cause. All you have to do is show up, you know? But the good news is, be thankful you're not part of the world. Be thankful you are the black sheep. Because you are the difference maker in this world. All right? Let me read the comments. Baby, good to see you. Joel Okoye. Hey, what's up, brother? Kavita, good to see you. Slur Wang a thing. Chosen one, yes. Very real thing. Chosen one's a very real thing. Paul, good to see you, sir. Baby says like and share. Yeah, y'all like and share this, like and share, y'all. This is powerful information. Alright? But understand that life is a wild ride. But it's worth the trip when you're doing the right thing. When you're not allowing trauma to cripple you. When you're not getting into bad habits. Angel, hey, good to see you. You are very wise. Hey, thank you. You know, my wisdom doesn't come on my own. It comes from a lot of experience and a lot of things in my life. And I can truly say I know what it's like to be hated and targeted. You know, I can go in on that, but not tonight, you know. But listen, y'all. I hope y'all enjoy the content. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. I told you I wasn't going to be on here too long. I think 27 minutes is a good time for a live. And listen, just continue on your path, y'all. And do not allow your trauma to cripple you. Take some time to heal, take some time to rest, but know that the enemy's going to try to recreate scenarios. It happened to me. I'm telling you, some congregation tried to recruit me again recently, like a few months ago. I was like, no, I'm straight. I saw that coming from a mile away. I stood my ground. I'm like, y'all not finna recruit me and try to make me feel guilty for not, reading the word and, I don't, who is you? You know what I'm saying? Who is you? I'm saying same dudes be trying to get you to read scripture and join congregation. That they themselves ain't right. They just be doing it for power and control. And they ain't finna get that over me. Alright. Listen, I love y'all. Rewatch this whenever y'all ready. It's powerful information, y'all. But it's helpful. Alright? Like, share, and subscribe. YouTube don't want me really don't want me really in the algorithm like that. But that's okay. I'm just gonna share what I can when I can. You understand? So I love y'all. Y'all please be safe out there. And we'll chop it up again. Alright. Bye bye now.